riding round in that Texas town. About to shack outside the game. You know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you wanna go to that home out on the range. They got a lot of nice girls. I'm racing.
Hey everybody, it's Logan Hall back with another grill stream. So normally I do grill streams over the weekend, when I have a bit more time. But today I thought about making a dish that's very simple, very easy to make. And it's hearty, right? It's a quality piece of British culinary ingenuity. Honestly, I mean, this is a dish that I think really sort of revolutionized a whole sort of era in sort of sort of British history, especially during like World War II. Um, but anyway, without further ado, I want to show you guys what I plan on making today. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to change the camera around. Let's do back back triple camera. All right. So let's go ahead and check out what we have going on today. So what I have in front of me is, pretty self-explanatory, right? We have some baked beans, we have some bread, just some plain old white bread, and a bit of, seasoning because, again, nobody likes, bland beans, right? But we're going to be making beans on toast today, and this dish really holds a special place in my heart. I mean, as a kid, I mean, I would always have this. Growing up poor, right? I mean, this was a nice quick meal. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. This one really hits home, and I uh, felt that today was a really good day to do this cook. So without further ado, here, let's go ahead and kind of get this ready to actually be put on the grill. I'm gonna set my spoon and all the ingredients off to the side. Um, yeah, we'll just put that guy right there for now. And we need to start getting this guy hot. So I've got a grill going here, and we got some fire going down there. So I'm gonna get this, hot, because eventually we will put the beans in there and we'll start to cook those up. But something I want to do real quick, I'm just gonna add a bit of uh, olive oil there just to get that going, and then I actually have a little bit of butter inside that I'm gonna add here too, just so that we have a good idea of when the pan's hot. So bear with me for a moment. I'm gonna go grab a little bit of butter, and then I will uh, put you guys right back into the action. So give me just one moment. All right, I grabbed a little bit of butter from the fridge, and I'm just going to go ahead and plop that down in there. That will probably heat up fairly quickly. Um, and then once this is at a good sort of melted consistency, we can go ahead and put our beans in. Now, now for you to do a proper beans on toast. Oh, you know what, guys? Sorry, I actually need to point that down a little bit more. So for us to do a proper beans on toast, normally normally you would actually use the use like the brand of Heinz beans, but today I only have sort of you can sort of like an American style bean, but like the Bush's beans. Um, so that's typically hey, Happy Meal, hey. Hey, man. Okay, let's actually read a few of the comments here. So before we go any further, we have Happy Meal, of course, always great on the stream. Bush's beans, the best for beans and toast. That's right. Even poor homeless won't eat this, Logan. Yeah, well, I mean, it really just depends on what you have, right? Um, yeah. So anyway, um, so again, again, sort of Heinz is the actual, bean of choice if you're in the UK. But again, unfortunately, I live in the US, and we have far less superior beans here. So I think this is at a good point now where we can go ahead and put our beans in, bean juice and all. And I'm gonna toss this real quick. And we're gonna go ahead and start to cook these guys up here. There's really not a lot to it. I mean, you got the beans, you got the bread, but which we will toast here in just a bit. When these beans are about like 75% of the way done here, I will sort of go ahead and put the bread on so that we can get that toasted up here. But again, this grill is not quite, fully sort of up to temperature yet, so this may take a little bit of time. I think what I'd like to do now is just kind of speak a little bit about the history of beans on toast and its incredible importance to the overall, you know, the overall. Let's see. We have some more comments here. Gotti, I blame you for this, buddy. Oh yeah, we're all in today. Beans on toast and make it into the yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know of them all. We're gonna have to wait and see how the end product will be, right? I mean, so anyway, so I want to talk a little bit about this dish and sort of its cultural importance. It's like the British people, and I'm gonna point the camera down just a little bit more there. There we go. And I recently got a new a gimbal, by the way, and I think that's really helping the quality of the stream. Um, and hopefully I can do these beans some justice today. So let's talk a little bit about, how this dish came about and sort of why it's so important, right? Um, so originally, baked beans were not really a part of British culinary, supermarkets or anything like that until about like the 19 maybe 20s or even 30s. Um, but I think, as early as 1886, that's when the company Heinz was formed. And essentially, this wasn't really a product for like the British market, so to speak, but this was a something that was made for the American market, and the British were also interested in, you know, getting a taste of these beans, right? And really, I think it's like the Heinz brand of bean really took off actually during during the first and second world wars, actually, because they were used as sort of rations, right? Sort of, canned goods are always great for that, right? So again, you know, and then sort of after the war, you know, it became a sort of just like a hearty, quick meal that you can eat, without much prep or anything like that. So, and again, to give it a little bit more texture and a little bit more crunch, the British, with all their very strong intellectual thinking, decided that they would put it on a piece of toast, right? Anyways, we will get to the toast later on, but that'll be slightly later in the game. I think now that I've given you guys just a quick sort of overview of what beans on toast is and sort of how important it is to the British, culinary world. I mean, I think it's now time to maybe start to go ahead and season our beans too. I think that pan is probably getting a little bit hot. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch this back around to my back camera, and what I'll do is I'm going to let's see, let's see. All right, so let's take a look, and I'm going to move my chair out of the way too. But let's go ahead and take a look at how these beans are looking. Look at that. Look at that. So we've now got some bean action going on here. I think this is a perfect time to go ahead and start to season these beans. So let's do this. I'm going to put you guys down real quick, and I'm going to point this down a little bit more so you guys can get a great shot of these beans. I mean, beans have taken us through so much, right? You know, through the through our childhood, maybe when our parents weren't quite making, enough money to buy us, maybe like a steak or, like, some chicken. I mean, again, beans were always there to give us some protein in our diet, even when maybe we didn't have as much to spend. Right? So, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt to that. Oh, you know what? Sorry. These are fancy grinders here. And I forgot that I have these little bottom pieces here. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of that salt in. And we're going to have the same issue over here with the pepper, but I'm just going to take that bottom part off. And let's go ahead and get some pepper in here because, you know, beans on toast without pepper is just not the same. All right, guys. Guys, we have to do this dish, actual justice here. So I also have some garlic powder. Again, I don't know how traditional this is, with like the British people, but again, I think salt, pepper, garlic powder is always going to make a great bean. So let's go ahead and incorporate some of that seasoning in to the dish here. And then one more thing I'm going to add in here is a bit of Worcestershire sauce or wash your sister sauce. So I'm going to just sprinkle just a little bit of that in here, and I think that's going to add just a nice sort of British touch. Um, so let me get my hot glove on here, and I think we're going to give these beans maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I would say. They're probably about 25 or 30% of the way cooked through right now. Um, and again, I think they will need a little bit more time. We're not going to put the toast on just yet. But again, let's give this just a little bit more time here, guys. What I plan on doing is I'm going to sit back down for a moment, and I want to hear your questions about beans on toast. What are your burning questions about this culturally a historical dish? So I'm going to do that real quick, and let's take the hot glove off, and I'm going to switch back around real quick. Let's do settings, camera, front camera. All right, guys. So in the chat, I want you to put your questions about beans on toast here. So what I'm going to do is let's get out of the camera settings and then let's go back to the chat here. Um, Chat GTI. Well, Happy Meal. I cannot confirm nor deny any show preparation, processes. Again, it's like the Logan Hall Grill Streams Empire Media. We have very, very closed off and very private, processes that we simply cannot let the public know about, right? So again, the use of Chat GTI, that will remain unanswered at this time. So we also have Ollie Reza Bean Action, a Tea and Tickers short story. Well, Ollie, I did actually post a link just for Tea and Tickers. Nobody else can join the panel today. This is a very, very special dish for a very special day. And I feel that the only person that could do this dish justice, maybe even better than I can, would be tea and tickers. So anyway, so tea and tickers, if you're watching this, the link is there for you, buddy, and you're more than welcome to join the panel. We also have Mathis, Vimal. When our parents were poor, I mean, you know, so here's the thing, Vimal. Um, you know, I, I didn't grow up the best. I mean, I had a very rough sort of upbringing, and it was the lack of quality food that really drove me to get into cooking and actually cook for myself and cook for others and entertain, right? Because nobody should have to go through eating hot dogs every night, or chopped wieners, is what we called it. Anyway, there are there are a lot of dishes that I want to forget about my childhood, but one that really speaks to me and still, stays in my heart after all these years is beans on toast. So again, that's why I want to do it justice today. I want to really, make the dish of my childhood here and really make sure that I do it justice for you guys, for my fans, for my subscribers. And guys, if you like beans on toast, don't forget to subscribe. This is a lot of work that I put into this channel, especially today. Trying to procure proper beans and getting a single piece of toast was no easy feat. So again, any upvote or any sign of support will be greatly appreciated. Um, so wieners invoked. I mean, Allie. I mean, you know, there's a lot of wieners in this world. I may or may not have one myself. And I think that you know, invoking invoking the wiener, especially during your childhood, it brings back a lot of bad memories, right? So um, now now we also have them all saying, "Hey, I agree, Logan Hall. Beans on toast is cruelty in child services." Well, now, Vimal, I think we're being a little bit too harsh on this incredible culinary creation. Okay, I think simplicity is best, and I think it's best when we have the proper ingredients and the proper care to build such a incredible dish. So no biggie. Sal says we demand protein. Well, beans are technically legumes, yeah, right? And I mean, yes, they are kind of carby, but they also do have a bit of protein in them. So so again, Sal, we will try to satisfy that a protein need here today. Um, Invoking the wiener during your childhood. I mean, Allie, this is not something that I want to talk about right now. This is truly personal to me, and I mean, it can be very upsetting for me. So I mean, just again, it's like the reason why I'm wearing sunglasses today is to actually hide the tears, because I don't want to think about that, anymore. It was just an awful experience. Vimal, Logan, from a historian's perspective, why did the British skip spices in their food? Well, I think it was just a lack with trade agreements with India and China and places in the world that actually had proper spices. I don't think the spices got around to the overall United Kingdom until about 2010. And then that point their food started to taste decent, right? So anyway, so hey, Happy Meal. I am so glad that I have inspired you to create such a culturally significant dish of the British people. So what I want to do now, I want to go back and we're going to switch cameras again. I think that we are at a point now where we can go ahead and let's triple back camera. Let's go ahead and check out our beans and see how they're doing here. It's been a few minutes, right? So let's point that camera down and let's see what we're doing. All right. So I think I think the temperature got a little too hot there. at the end. But I think this is a perfect time. Let's actually pull. You know what? Let's do this. I brought a little bit of water here, and just in case something like this happens, I knew that by using water we can actually deglaze the pan a little bit, and we can actually get these beans and save them from any kind of cruelty that they may have encountered here on the grill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this water kind of simmer out, but we are now at a point where we can put this beautiful piece of bread and turn it into toast here. So I'm going to lay that down here, and we are minutes. No, you guys, we are seconds away from having an incredibly hearty dish that again satisfies all the different levels of getting your vitamin B, your vitamin D in. Um, this is sort of a one and done dish. I mean, you could actually eat this every day if you wanted for every meal. Um, and this would be, something that is perfectly suitable to satisfy all your dietary needs. So, again, we are just about at that point where we can transfer these beans um, onto the toast, and then on. Well, really, like we need to let this toast get pretty nice and toasty first, and then we'll put that on the plate, and then put the beans on the toast to actually, crown our king, right? So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the bottom of this real quick. Look at that perfect grill mark, man. They don't call me the Grill King for nothing. I mean, I would like to see a Whiskey Reaper put together a proper beans on toast. I mean, I don't know if he has it in him, but again, I mean, he has a lot of good food on his channel. He's making tongue every night. He's doing monkfish. Man, you can't forget about the monkfish. I mean, come on. And I think it's great that we have competition in this space, right? But ultimately there can only be one Grill King, and I think after we finish this dish today, uh, I'm like the winner's going to be clear, guys. So again, I think that our toast is pretty much ready here. Let me check the bottom real quick. We could use a little bit more time on the bottom there. Um, but we are coming to a very quick end here. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the airflow at the bottom here. We really don't need any more heat. And then I'm also going to close this off here, because we are pretty much done, guys. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to transfer the toast. Let's put the toast on the plate. Look at that. Look at that perfect toast. And what we'll do now is we'll put the beans on the toast. And this is just the perfect amount, like for one piece of toast, guys. I mean, it pretty much covers the entire piece here, right? So this is our beans on toast. Did I overcook the beans a little bit? I mean, I think that's really up to the British, and especially tea and tickers to decide. Again, sort of this is not my specialty or anything, but this was a dish that was around my childhood very, very often, right? So I guess I'm just cooking it how my mother cooked it for me and my father. So I'm going to put this off to the side here. We're done with the cast iron, and we are pretty much done with the grill. Guys, the moment has come. We are ready to uh, try out just an incredible dish. I mean, let me kind of set this off to the side here. Let's do this, and I'm going to point it down just a little bit. Oops, wrong way. Okay. So I think everything is in frame here. Um, Again, you don't necessarily have to, use a fork necessarily, but I think just to be proper, and just to give this dish a lot of respect, I will just cut off a little bit of piece here. And guys, the time has come. Wow. This brings back so many memories, Um, and wow, sorry guys, I just have to take a moment. Like I'm getting sort of slightly emotional actually. Wow. I mean, the salt and pepper really comes out. The garlic powder was a really good addition. And like the Worcestershire sauce, I think that added the nice British touch, even though it's more of a American, type of thing. I think, wow, this is a dish for the ages, guys. So if you enjoyed this stream, please consider giving me a like, a thumbs up, um, you know, a a subscription. You can even subscribe to this. But guys, I must come clean about something right now. This is the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth. I never ate this as a child. This is something that only British people can come up with. This is a dish that's not even a fucking dish. I mean, this is a fucking disgrace. Never make this for yourself. Never, never even look at this. Don't even look at this, okay? Okay, this is going to give you nightmares. Never put this in your mouth. British people, I'm coming after you. This is a sorry excuse for a meal. And if you think this is food, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you guys have zero taste buds. Again, you guys didn't get spices until like the mid 2000s, right? And prior to that, like I don't know, you were using like dirt or something like to season your food, or I don't even know. But I think this dish deserves to be um, in only one place right now. So I'm gonna give. Let's actually open up that grill one more time. And I think the only way to do this dish justice is to give it a proper burial. So beans on toast, that's what you guys deserve. This is what everybody of the British colonies, Scotland, the British Isles, Wales, or whatever the fuck it is. There's no excuse for what you had me make today. I mean, again, this brought back a lot of childhood memories, but this is also bringing on a very emotional moment for me. Um, and I just think that you know you guys cannot be forgiven for this. Um, I think that this was the only way that beans on toast could be consumed and enjoyed. Um, and yeah, I mean that's it, guys. Um, so let me switch the camera back around real quick, just to sort of close things out here. Let's go to camera. Let's do front camera. So, guys, obviously this is a April Fool's joke. I hope you guys enjoyed. Um, hey, sorry guys, I got a call while I was doing the closing statements there. So again, obviously this is a joke, April Fools. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. If you did, please consider liking and or subscribing if you're not already subscribed. And I will see you guys in the next grill stream. Thank you.